The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of wet earth and the metallic tang of fear. Rain lashed down, a relentless torrent mirroring the tempest raging within Lacey's heart. Her vision, blurred by tears and the ceaseless downpour, struggled to make sense of the chaos unfolding before her. The horrifying image of Theo collapsing, his eyes wide with a terror that would forever haunt her, replayed in a cruel, endless loop. Theo. Theo. Wake up, wake up. Her voice, raw and ragged, was swallowed by the storm, a desperate, futile plea. The flickering, ominous glow of emergency lights pierced the darkness, casting long, grotesque shadows that danced like specters on the wet asphalt. A patrol car, its siren a mournful wail, skidded to a halt, its doors flying open. A young, determined officer, Miss Dobby, her face grim, emerged, her eyes scanning the scene with a practiced intensity. "Sorry, Miss Dobby, so late. I'm looking for Leah Patterson." The words, sharp and urgent, tore through Lacey's daze. "I'm here. I need you to come with me. There's been an accident." Accident? No, this was no accident. This was the culmination of a desperate gamble, a reckless pursuit of justice that had spun violently out of control. Lacey's gaze darted frantically across the scene. The overturned car, a mangled wreck, groaned under the weight of the rain, a silent testament to the destructive force that had been unleashed. The crumpled figure, barely discernible beneath the hastily thrown tarp, confirmed her worst fears. "I see it's dead." The officer's voice, a chilling pronouncement of finality, pierced her soul like a shard of ice. But where was Theo? The question screamed in her mind, a frantic drumbeat against the relentless thrum of the rain. Oh good, Theo. 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 Where is he? Where is he, Leo? Where's he, where? Theo. No. Theo. Her heart hammered against her ribs, each beat a frantic plea, each breath a choked sob. The officer's attempts to calm her were futile, their words lost in the roaring tempest of her despair. The world spun, a dizzying vortex of flashing lights, frantic voices, and the agonizing void where Theo should have been. A chilling premonition, cold and absolute, wrapped around her, a viper coiling around her last vestiges of hope. This wasn't just an accident, it was a carefully orchestrated nightmare, a trap laid with surgical precision. And Theo, her unwavering protector, her loyal shadow, had walked right into it. The joyous cacophony of the wedding reception now seemed a lifetime away, a cruel phantom limb of happiness. Yet, the echoes of laughter and music still reverberated in Lacey's memory, a stark contrast to the desolate reality she now faced. She recalled the playful banter with Justin, the nervous energy of planning their escape, the fleeting promise of a shared future. "Don't tell me, he's running already." Leah's playful jab, met with Justin's dismissive, long story, now carried an ironic weight. The long story had just taken a devastating turn. Even Leah's unexpected admission, "I was wrong. You two are perfect for each other," a rare moment of vulnerability and acceptance, felt like a cruel twist of fate. How could she have been so naive, so blind to the storm brewing beneath the surface of their celebration? The conversation with Justin, the shared dreams of escaping the formalities, the impulsive kiss that sealed their pact, now felt like a desperate grasp at normalcy before plunging into the abyss. "You made it. Look what I got me nervous." His words, filled with an endearing mix of excitement and trepidation, now sounded like a premonition, a warning of the perilous path she was about to embark on. The reception was in full swing, a kaleidoscope of lights and laughter. Yet, a shadow of unease had begun to creep in. Mackenzie's devastating news of a miscarriage had cast a pall over the earlier joyous moments, a reminder that even in happiness, sorrow lingered. Then, the cryptic phone call to Joe, still grappling with fragmented memories, had ignited a fresh spark of worry. "Joe, listen to my voice. You're safe. You're in your home." David's reassuring voice, attempting to ground her in the present, was a fragile shield against the encroaching darkness. But the image of a shadowy figure at the car, checking her mother's pulse, lingered, a phantom limb of terror. He just walked away. How could he do that? The unanswered question, the faceless culprit, gnawed at their collective peace. Lacey, fueled by a relentless drive for answers, had been a whirlwind of frantic energy. Her hypnotherapy sessions, a desperate attempt to unlock the hidden corners of her memory, had yielded a new, terrifying fragment. Joe had a new memory today in hypnotherapy of Wendell. The name hung in the air, a poisonous whisper, reigniting the flames of her vengeful quest. The confrontation with Justin had been inevitable. His concern, a mixture of love and exasperation, was palpable. "I need your help." "Why? What's going on?" "I'm gonna meet Wendell." "What? You told me you were gonna stop going after this guy." "It was only because I knew that you weren't on board." "Yes, because this is insane." Their whispered argument, amidst the joyous din of the wedding, was a microcosm of the internal battle raging within Lacey. Her conviction was absolute, her resolve unshakable. Guys, not here. Look, I need you to come with me just in case." No, 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 no one's going anywhere. Stay out of this, Justin." Theo's intervention, his voice a surprising mix of firmness and unwavering loyalty, had been a turning point. He had tried to reason, to protect her, But his sense of justice, ignited by her fierce determination, had ultimately overruled his caution. He's right. This is a terrible idea. What is going on? I'm doing this with or without you. Leo, wait. Just let me sort this. Sort what? What's happening? She's going after the guy that she thinks killed her mom. What? I'm not saying this is a good idea, but she's in way over her head. I've got to go with her. Are you coming or not? The escalating tension, the raw emotion in their voices, had painted a clear picture of the dangerous precipice they were teetering on. Justin's desperate plea, what? You can't just follow Lacey every time she snaps her fingers. Do you not remember what happened last time? Served as a chilling reminder of past mistakes, of the chaos that often followed Lacey's impulsive quests. But Theo, with a clarity born of deep conviction, had drawn a stark distinction. She has got a point, mate, yeah, but this isn't a river boy. He's a politician who might have killed someone. Why do you always lose your mind when it comes to that girl? I can't let her go on her own. Why not? I'll talk to her. No, you won't. This is my life, it's my choice, it's not yours, so you need to back off. Lacey's final, defiant declaration, fine, don't expect me to be there for you when it all goes wrong, had severed the last thread of hope for a peaceful resolution. And Theo, with a sigh of grim resignation, had agreed to join her. We're doing this. Ha ha. Their shared, almost manic, enthusiasm now felt like a desperate dance on the edge of a volcano. The ride to Arta Drive had been fraught with a nervous energy, a palpable tension coiling between Lacey and Theo. The moon, a sliver of bone in a bruised sky, offered scant comfort. The quiet hum of the engine was punctuated by their hushed conversation, a final strategizing before the plunge. I still think your dad should be the one handling this. Theo's lingering doubt, a sensible counterpoint to Lacey's fiery resolve, was quickly dismissed. He can't. He got told off by his bosses. What? You didn't tell me that. He's not allowed to do anything. That's why this is up to me. The revelation that her father, David, was sidelined, further solidified Lacey's conviction that she was the only one who could truly seek justice for her mother. The burden, heavy and immense, settled on her shoulders. Okay, so what is the plan here exactly? Theo's question, though laced with trepidation, carried a fierce loyalty. Lacey, her eyes gleaming with a dangerous glint, laid out her audacious plan. Joe had a new memory today and hypnotherapy of Wendell, so I'm gonna tell him I saw the accident and force him to confess. The audacity of it, the sheer recklessness, hung in the air. Theo's concerns, though valid, were quickly brushed aside. What if he figures out you're bluffing, or even worse, works out who you actually are? Lacey, ever the strategist, had an answer ready. That's why you're here. It's to save me, but you've got to stay out of sight, because he thinks I'm working a solo. The image of Theo, hidden in the shadows, a silent guardian, filled her with a fragile sense of security. This is so crazy, it's so crazy. Theo's honest assessment, a blend of awe and disbelief, was met with Lacey's unwavering resolve. What do you expect to get out of all this? Justice. The word hung in the air, a powerful, almost sacred vow. Meanwhile, back at the wedding, the others were slowly piecing together the alarming puzzle. David, now fully aware of the precarious situation, was confronted by a distraught Justin. Why didn't you tell me about this sooner? 'Cause I told David the first wedding. I didn't know that Lacey was gonna go all vigilante. If this counselor guy gets found out, he'll lose his career, his freedom, his reputation. Who knows what he'll do to stop that from happening? Okay, I think it's time we loop David in. Yeah. Lacey has gone in way over her head and now she's dragging Theo into this mess too. The urgent realization that Lacey and Theo were in grave danger propelled Justin and David into a frantic race against time. The appointed hour arrived, shrouded in a cloak of impending doom. Warita Drive, desolate and rain-slicked, became the stage for Lacey's desperate gamble. Wendell, a figure of polished menace, emerged from the shadows, his face a mask of calculated composure. Lacey, her voice trembling but resolute, began her carefully constructed lie. Georgia, that's right. I don't know what you're playing at, but this is harassment. I know that you caused a fatal car accident on Baxter Creek Road, and you left the scene. Because you've got an eyewitness. Where are they? Right here. You're lying. Am I? Each word was a calculated strike, designed to chip away at Wendell's veneer of self-assurance. She recounted the horrifying details, each fragment of Joe's recovered memory a weapon in her arsenal. You drove on the wrong side of the road that caused the other car to swerve into a tree. You stopped. You went over. You leaned through the window to check the passenger's pulse, and then you just left them there to die. What do you want? Money? I want you to go to the cops and confess. It's gonna be far better coming from you than it is me. As if you have any real evidence. If you think that, then why are you still here? So you either go to the cops and confess, or I'm gonna make sure that every media outlet is gonna be there when you get arrested. The tension was unbearable, a taut wire stretched to its breaking point. Wendell's composure wavered, a flicker of fear in his eyes betraying his outward calm. All right, I will go to the police. You go now? Yes, now. All right, good, I'll confess. I see you. A wave of relief, fleeting and fragile, washed over Lacey. She had done it. She had forced his hand. But as Wendell turned to leave, a sinister glint in his eye, a sudden, jarring movement caught her attention. A second car, a dark sedan, had silently emerged from the shadows, its headlights cutting through the rain-swept darkness like predatory eyes. Theo, hidden in the bushes, his breath catching in his throat, recognized the danger immediately. "Quick! Get down!" His urgent whisper, a desperate warning, was swallowed by the wind. But it was too late. The sedan, with a chilling precision, swerved, not towards Wendell, but directly towards Theo's hiding place, a silent, deadly projectile. The sickening crunch of metal, the shattering glass, and Theo's guttural cry of pain ripped through the night. Lacey watched in horror, a scream caught in her throat. Wendell, a triumphant, malevolent smirk twisting his lips, simply continued walking, his confession a cruel deception, a carefully crafted distraction. He had known. He had planned this. He had lured them into a trap, and Theo, in his unwavering loyalty, had become the bait. The world fractured around Lacey. The rain turned to icy needles, the wind a mournful dirge. She stumbled towards the mangled car, her legs heavy, her heart a leaden weight in her chest. The smell of gasoline and scorched metal filled the air, a testament to the raw violence that had just unfolded. "Theo! Theo! Wake up! Wake up!" Her voice was a broken whisper, her hands frantic as she searched for him amidst the wreckage. The absence of his response, the eerie silence, was more terrifying than any scream. Miss Dobby, her walkie-talkie crackling with urgent commands, was already at the scene. But her focus was on the driver of the other car, a man in a dark suit, slumped lifelessly over the steering wheel. This was not the car Theo had been in. This was a different accident. A cold, dreadful realization washed over Lacey. The accident Miss Dobby was referring to was not Theo's. "Sorry, Miss Dobby, so late. I'm looking for Leah Patterson. I'm here. I need you to come with me. There's been an accident. I see it's dead." The pieces of the puzzle clicked into place, forming a horrific mosaic. Leah, who had called Joe earlier, who was also involved in the investigation, was here. And the accident, the fatal accident, was connected to Wendell in a way far more intricate and sinister than they had imagined. The crumpled figure under the tarp. The other car. Leah. Wendell's chilling smirk. It was all a meticulously choreographed nightmare. Wendell hadn't just caused one accident, he had orchestrated a series of devastating events, designed to silence anyone who came close to exposing him. Leah, in her own desperate pursuit of justice, had become another casualty. Then, a distant siren wailed, growing steadily louder. Not an ambulance, but a police car. David and Justin. They were here. But were they too late? Lacey, her mind racing, saw a flicker of movement in the wreckage of Theo's car. A hand. His hand. A weak, almost imperceptible twitch. Oh good, she. Leo. 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 Where is he? Where is he, Leo? Where is he, where? Leo. No. Leo. Cries, now laced with a desperate surge of hope and terror, echoed through the rain. She clawed at the twisted metal, her fingers raw, her strength fueled by a primal need to reach him. The screen fills with a close-up of Lacey's tear-streaked face, her eyes wide with a mixture of profound grief, unyielding determination, and a terrifying, nascent rage. Her hands are bloody, her knuckles bruised, as she desperately tries to pry open the crushed door of Theo's car. The distant wail of the approaching police siren mingles with the relentless downpour, creating a symphony of despair.